Hey, look who's here. It's the king of cable, Bill O'Reilly.
Am I here?
You're here.
You just done Jimmy Kimmel an hour ago.
Yeah, I know. We did Kimmel last night and then flew back, and I got in at 3 in the morning.
Wow.
Not that you're complaining.
Wandered the streets of Manhattan.
I didn't know American had a flight that got you in at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we had a special little operation going.
That's how much you love us, right here. You flew all that way to come spend the morning with
Fox
us.
and Friends on the debut of the book day. Sure.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to give it a whole segment. But first, let's talk a little politics. First of all, Dr. Ben Carson not backing down on his comments that he does not like the idea of a president who is Muslim by faith. Last night, he stood by those comments. Listen to this.
I stand by the comments. You know, what we have to do is we have to recognize that this is America, and we have a Constitution. And we do not put people in, at the leadership of our country whose faith might interfere with them carrying out the duties of the Constitution.
So he doubled down.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is another phony manufactured controversy to divert attention away from that the country's going to hell, and it is. My take is this. If Dr. Carson doesn't want to vote for a president, if the guy is Muslim or a woman is Muslim, it's his opinion.
Yep.
It's his opinion. Under the Constitution, any religion can become president. But he believes, I think, that it doesn't line up. We're a country founded on Judeo-Christian philosophy. I mean, that's a fact. And then...
Sharia law?
Well, that's not part of the Quran, though. I mean, you have to be careful. But the whole philosophy of Islam doesn't stack up against Judeo-Christian. It's different philosophies. So if you're going to say, look, I want to adhere to the Judeo-Christian path, then I wouldn't vote for a Muslim. All right, and that's not bigoted. That's based upon your vision of the country.
This is a theoretical question, though, Bill, right? I mean,
it's a theoretical question unless
who is Muslim running
unless
for president right now.
some guy's running for president we don't know about.
Right.
You know,
so there's the trap.
The thing that drives me crazy about all of this stuff is that the media manufactures this stuff, all right? And look, I wouldn't vote for a socialist. Hello, Bernie! Not voting for you. You're a socialist.
How dare you?
Okay, but he's running, and it's fine, but I'm not voting for Bernie because I don't believe in socialism. It's the same thing. But you'd never hear the media say that.
Nope.
But we also see these huge number of stars line up to support Bernie Sanders.
It wasn't huge, kill me.
Well, you got about 25. Yeah, about 25.
128 names.
Yeah, I heard it like 8 of them. So
no, I mean, some big names. So they want to give up 8 of every $10 they have.
They don't know anything. Do you think Will Ferrell knows anything?
If they're in People magazine, they have to be smart.
Do you, kill me, think Will Ferrell knows anything? Thank you.
In Step Brothers, he seemed to have something special about him. He seemed to have an insight that you can't really get.
And I did that because Farrell took a shot at me.
Oh, he did?
And I'll debate you anytime, you pinhead. You come on in here, and in 15 minutes, me and you, okay?
Well, that's
about
better
Bernie and politics in general, or about your films. I'm ready to go.
Because he was obsessed with you on SNL. He was staring at you the whole time, he said.
I know, because this guy, you know, he is... I never knew this, by the way, that he was so far left. But that's okay. Look, if these people want to be socialists, but here's the deal. I would say, why don't you put all the money in escrow, all right? Because Sanders, in case he doesn't win,
right.
And then when he doesn't win, we'll give it to charity.
Right.
So you put 90% of your, which is what Bernie would take from wealthy people, 90%. You put 90% of what you have in escrow, and we'll give it to the wounded warriors and stuff like that, okay? You want to be a socialist? Right. We're happy to help you.
Who you keep talking to over there?
America. He's talking to America.
To the folks. I'm talking to the folks, kill me.
Camera 3 is the folks cam. That's the folks cam.
There's someone who busted in that door.
Right in there,
can we talk about Governor Walker yesterday? I was a little surprised he jumps out at this time. This guy 3 weeks ago, or let's say 3 months ago, would consider a favorite.
He didn't go out, though, without slamming Donald Trump. Watch this.
Today, I believe that I'm being called to lead by helping to clear the field in this race so that a positive, conservative message can rise to the top of the field. With this in mind, I will suspend my campaign immediately. I encourage other Republican presidential candidates to consider doing the same, so that the voters can focus on a limited number of candidates who can offer a positive, conservative alternative to the current frontrunner.
Your thoughts?
Well, look, nobody likes Trump right now. There's nobody. Everybody's giving him a little jazz, and so I expect that to continue. Walker just didn't light it up. You know, it's hard. Perry didn't light it up. Walker and Perry were good governors. They did well in their respective states. But this is the big deal. And when you have a guy as flamboyant and charismatic as Trump, and you got to stack up against him,
a bigness difference.
Very, very tough.
Yeah.
And people have to understand that right now we're still in the reality show phase of the presidential election. This is the reality show phase. That'll start to ebb now, and it'll come down to really hardcore politics soon. But we're still in that fictional phase.
There are a number of people who said, you know, what he did was really patriotic. We asked the folks out there on camera 3 what they thought. Marilyn emailed us, Bill O'Reilly. Scott Walker is a patriot. He has done what others have not had the courage to do, drop out for the good of the country and support a true conservative candidate with a positive message for America.
That's right. Russell adding this on Twitter, Bill. Who made Scott Walker auditor of the GOP race just because he is below 1%? He wants to form a committee to stop Trump?
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, just like Dr. Carson. If Walker doesn't think Trump's good for the country, why can't he say it? I don't understand all this. Look, I got you guys rooting for people. But when other people don't root for your guy or gal, that doesn't mean they're the devil.
I know,
right?
I agree.
That means, you know, it means they just see it a little bit differently.
Right.
So knock it off!
Okay, fine. How jealous are you that we have co-hosts? Sometimes I read, sometimes Steve reads. Are you thinking about adding a co-host?
I never watched this show, so I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, that really hurts my feelings.
Is that what you do?
It's still cartoons.
It's way too early for me. You know.
Okay. How do you lie when we're about to talk about the Pope, Bill O'Reilly?
The Pope? What do you want to know about?
Well, I want to know what you
would
like.
coming to town.
What would you like extracted from this historic visit right now? He's going to actually sit before Congress. He's going to meet with the president, supposedly to talk about those 3 prisoners in Iran. What do you want to come of this meeting, ideally,
look,
from the
As
Pope?
a former altar boy.
First of all, I was a former altar boy, and it was harrowing. A
So was I.
Tificat Juventutem Meam. I still know the prayers.
Sitting over there
in Latin.
towering over the priest.
I like the Pope. He cares about people.
Yeah.
What he wants is every human being to have dignity, and that includes on board human beings for you people in Hollywood. I don't know what he's going to do. I hope he doesn't come off political, because I don't think that the Pope's frame of reference in politics is at the level where he could persuade people. He's a product of Argentina. They spent some time down there. It's a brutal society, or was when he was coming up. So he'd never been to the USA. I hope he gets out and goes to Arby's and has a, has a good time, whatever,
See him in the drive-thru in his Pope-mobile.
Right. And I hope he enjoys himself and just concentrates on helping people who need help. That's the
and
message.
doesn't get politics. Right. It doesn't talk about the Iranian deal, Cuba, communism.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that if I were Pope Francis, because, again, you're coming at it, and he's already alienated a lot of conservative Americans by the global warming stuff, which I'm going to explain tonight on The Factor, by the way.
Good.
I'm going to get into this. But he's a good man, and people should understand that he really cares about the poor and the helpless and people who do need help.
How about this? How dressed up Bill around? Basically,
we all coordinated with the blues right here.
Yes, it's a macho look.
Nice.
We're all wearing blue.
And you know what? You're a good man, because you're going to stay with us right now. Bill O'Reilly going to stick around for this right here.
It might be your best one.
Think so?
I think it might be your best one.
I will double down on that comment. A side of Ronald Reagan we've never seen before, and many of his supporters may not like it. An exclusive look inside Bill's new book, Killing Reagan, next.
I'm sticking around for that.
You have to. There's been killing Jesus, there's been killing Patton, there's been killing Lincoln, there's been killing Kennedy. Now it's time for Bill O'Reilly's brand new book, Killing Reagan, and it reads like great, like all your other ones.
It sure does.
It's a page turner, and this is one I actually lived through.
Yes.
Bill, why tackle this?
Well, I thought it was, we always go for great men. And there are great women as well, but not at the level that we need to write about. So Reagan's a great man, but he is a man that was kept cloistered from the public. Very few people know who he really is or was and what happened to him after he was shot. So it was just great fodder to write about this, and we have so much new stuff in the book because stuff has been released. We have this unbelievable conversation between Nixon and Reagan that was just made public.
That's cool.
And it's just harrowing. This is at the eve of Nixon's resignation. Reagan, as governor, calls him. And we have the whole transcript of the conversation. It's harrowing. We have another transcript where Margaret Thatcher is just yelling at Reagan. She's so angry at him because he didn't tell her about the invasion of Grenada. And she was telling the press, oh, he's never going to do that. Bang.
He did
so there's a lot of new stuff in it. But the overarching of the book is we want you to know about Ronald Reagan.
Well, of course, it's killing Reagan. Are you suggesting that the assassination attempt back in '81 in any way led to the death of Reagan?
No, I'm not suggesting that. It changed Reagan's physiology and psychology. He came so close to death, and at that age, when you get a trauma like that, your body changes and your mind changes. But the White House apparatus kept that from the public. Nobody knew that he had his good days and his bad days. And on his bad days, he wouldn't even go to work. He'd watch soap operas.
Stay upstairs.
Stay upstairs. On his good days, he was brilliant.
Sure.
And so we chronicle that struggle, that back and forth struggle. And there was one point where his top advisors, guys who loved him, were thinking about removing him from the presidency.
Led by Howard Baker, right?
Right.
Were the struggles the Alzheimer's, which we learned later?
It's impossible to say he had Alzheimer's on this date, but his mind and body was affected by the assassination attempt to a degree that no American understood. And the fact that he became a great president after this, it's just an amazing story.
It sure is. What resilience. You know, I'm reading through this, and I keep saying today someone's going to have to pry this book out of my hands.
It'll keep you up.
It sure will. But you know what I love? I love your description of Nancy Reagan, the protector of her husband to the end, remaining in their traditions and marriage, staying in the same bed, and how she protected him from the public during his toughest days physically.
There are 3 Nancy Reagans in the book. And we do a lot of the early stuff with the Hollywood and John Wayne, Marilyn Monroe. They all intersected with Ronald Reagan. The first Nancy is a striver who had her eye on Ronald Reagan. She was going to marry Ronald Reagan, all right? Because she saw in him greatness. The second was the diva. After she did get married to Ronald Reagan, and only 2 people showed up for the wedding, William Holden and his wife, who hated each other. Only 2 people showed up for Nancy and Ronald Reagan's wedding. And we explain why. And then the diva in the White House, who a lot of people loathed, because she was really overbearing at times. And then the hero, Nancy Reagan, the heroine, who, when he gets ill after he leaves the White House, becomes his protector and does these unbelievable things that most people would never do.
She put the steel in his spine. Would you say he does not become president without her?
I'd say that there was a good chance he would not. But he did have the vision to run the country, and that's what a lot of liberals in particular don't understand. Reagan had a unique vision that was not given to him by Nancy Reagan. He just had it. On this is a great country, and this is why it's a great country.
Right.
All right. The book comes out today. Pick it up. Bill O'Reilly's Killing Reagan.
All right, guys. As always, thank you very much.
And you got Roger Ailes in there. That was good movie.
And I was only kidding. I do watch Fox and Friends, and I force the urchins to watch it too.
And
they love you.
I challenge you. I think there's going to be a female on this cover pretty soon.
Yeah, we are so much more entertaining than Sprout.
All right, Bill. Thank you very much.